Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2C TV. This is your global news channel. I'm 2C and today is a massive day. A huge Easter victory for the United States military and a humiliating defeat for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Iran. We're going to give you guys the latest update on what's been happening over the last few hours in the conflict in the Middle East. We have a lot of exclusive videos, of course also some videos from the rescue operation. We now can confirm that the United States, with the help of the Israeli intelligence and the Iranian people on the ground, have managed to rescue the weapons system officer, or as we say, the second pilot of the F-15E that crashed a couple of days ago. He has been rescued. This has been absolutely embarrassing for the IRGC. They couldn't even capture one single American. Also, a couple of things to mention. Firstly, happy Easter to the whole of the Christian world. We're going to explain in details the rescue operation and what exactly happened. We're going to show you videos. President Trump has also now confirmed, the White House have confirmed, that President Trump has been arming the Iranian people in the country since January, since the January uprising. We're going to explain how that happened. And also more of the IRGC Basij units are now abandoning their posts and checkpoints. We have, of course, videos to show as evidence. And most importantly, a big shout out to our 2C TV team, because we can now confirm that on this channel we are not going to be using Google Maps when it's not necessary. Our team have now created and built our very own 2C TV interactive map. So we don't have to rely on anybody else. This is our own system, which obviously can actually, it's interactive, so we can actually show you exactly what's going on the ground, wherever it is, pinpoint locations for you guys. So we're going to use this interactive map that we now have to explain the rescue operation. All right, so before we get to this, let's go to the civilians in Iran, in Dehdasht. This was the essentially the site, the area of the crash that happened a couple of days ago. They decided to all get on the streets, to block the streets, to prevent the IRGC forces from searching and capturing the US pilots. And this is how it turned out. Let's watch the first clip and come back. So they all came out, and then there was another group from other villages that started driving through the main roads, and they basically they made it very difficult for the IRGC to be able to go through them. So they just literally stood around, like, okay, all we have to do is just block these roads, and they can't do anything. And that was incredibly successful. We also have updates, intel from the Immortal Guard, the People's Army in Iran, that there were also Iranian civilians who helped the American to be safe, to give him shelter temporarily, and also help him to find a way out of this area to go somewhere else. And I'm going to explain where that was. Following this, everybody from the IRGC decided to go to roughly the area where the crash happened. The IRGC Basij members were all annihilated. Literally, every single person who went there were killed by the Americans. This is actually a video filmed by the IRGC when the plainclothes Basijis, they go to the mountains, and they realize that everything's gone completely wrong. And one of them says they are, well, this was actually filmed by an Iranian, and they said they are soldiers, plainclothes. Oh God, oh Hussein, they have killed them. This was after the Americans targeted her. And I will explain how this happened, because when you discover the story of this operation, you're going to find it absolutely astonishing how successful the Americans were. This was a massive trap, huge trap set by the United States. Anyway, there's a few of them here.
به جنازه‌ایم ها
یا خدا
ممنون زیر چه تا تز جنازه‌ایم
چل تابونشو بالا که بیت دومه باید قرام سب تابونشو بالا شاید تابونشو بالا نه
There are more of them. The interesting thing about saying they are soldiers, plain clothing soldiers, they're all dead. One of the interesting things about this operation last night was that the liberal Western media, specifically the likes of CNN and others, that were reporting this in a very, very premature way. When we initially started getting the videos of the Iranian civilians blocking the streets near Dehdash, the media were saying that, oh, look, the Iranian civilians have been told by the IRGC to go and capture the American, and they have listened. And then everybody else in Iran were like, what are you talking about? We're doing the exact opposite. But the media started spreading lies, and then they had to retract it, obviously, because they realized there was absolutely no evidence. Now, part of the operation also included the route towards the mountains. And again, I'll show you guys on the map in a second where we are talking about. But the Americans used 2 C-130s, 4 MH6 Little Bird helicopters in order to rescue the crew member from Iran. They did manage to get him on the helicopter, one of the helicopters. The problem was that the C-130s got stuck, and they had to extract the personnel, but they had to leave some of that behind, and then they had to destroy them. Let's go to the next video. So this was the clashes near Dehdash beforehand.
Ya Khuda, Ya Khuda.
Okay, so the best way I can explain this to you guys is by going on our first ever exclusive in-house built 2CTV interactive map that we have, and let me show you on this is obviously the territory, the Iranian territory, the location of the second pilot or the weapons systems officer was not where it was supposed to be, and that was on purpose thanks to the CIA with the help of the Israeli intelligence. Firstly, the Americans beforehand over the last 2 days set up a temporary base deep within Iran. They literally put boots on the ground and nobody knew about that. They had a base right in the center of Iran around this bit, just south of Esfahan. The base was set up just outside the main city, but one of the main issues with this was that so the Israeli officials did share a lot of information with the Americans in terms of the search and rescue operation. But then the Americans also realized with the intel that they have, what they can do is slightly trick the IRGC, and they successfully managed to do it. Essentially, let me show you. Oh, no, that's wrong. Get rid of that. The Americans, to the southwest, this is where Dehdash is, the orange square. That's where everybody thought the second pilot is located. So the Americans started to launch towards this area. They sent a few fighter jets and bombers, and they launched over here. Meanwhile, the pilot was actually somewhere else. He was here. Hang on. We'll call him the WSO, or the Weapons Systems Officer, right? So he was right there. To the east, from the eastern parts of Dehdash. So the Americans then started to send their special forces over here to pick him up. Meanwhile, around this area, Dehdash, where the IRGC sent their military, everybody got blown up. Right here. All these explosions, every single thing was blown up. And they obviously struggled completely to recover and to also find out exactly where the second pilot is, which was not even close to that. There was a mountain and he was hiding there. So prior to the locating the weapons system officer, the CIA launched this deception campaign. That was the day before, hours and hours before. They used what they called unique capabilities to search him and found him. They were already in contact with him. They knew exactly where he was going to be. He was also held by Iranian civilians initially to find shelter. He was injured. He went to the mountains, right where it is, to the south of Esfahan. And the Americans said that this was the ultimate needle in the haystack. But in this case, it was a brave American soul inside a mountain. Invisible but for the CIA's capabilities, quite easy to find. Then they blew up the remaining aircrafts, the C-130s. So unfortunately, they had to leave them. They blew up 2 of the planes that they had. That's millions and millions of dollars, because they didn't want them to fall into the hands of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. And one day, there will be a whole Netflix movie about just this operation and what exactly happened. Crazy stuff. Now, in the southwestern parts of Iran, or near Dehdash, civilians, as I said, let's go to another video that we have showing the civilians blocking the streets and driving towards the area to prevent the IRGC from capturing the Wizzo. Let's have a look at this and then come back. Look at that. Look at the tribe. This was the moment when the CNN. Hang on, let me turn this on. CNN initially reported this, saying, oh, these are the Iranian civilians being told by the IRGC to go and capture the American. In fact, that wasn't true. Then they had to retract that statement because they realized, oh, these are the Iranian civilians who are helping the Americans, who literally blocked the route for the IRGC military, and everything changed from here. And of course, with the trap that was set by CIA and the help coming from the Israeli intelligence, there was no way that this operation at that point was going to fail. So these guys have done their homework. Now, we also have some aerial footage showing the 2 United States HC-130J Combat King 2 aircrafts that was, and the 2 helicopters that were destroyed. I mean, the rest of them were destroyed by the Americans. This is what we have. This was the site of the wreckage. Brian says, I don't trust Netflix to get this portrayed accurately. Or maybe Apple TV then, fine. Apple TV will probably do a better job. Okay, also there is we have another footage actually showing the 2 C-130s that were destroyed by the US forces, as I said, because they didn't want them to fall into the hands of the enemy. I think we can also show you this quickly. Yeah. This was also broadcast by the Islamic Republic state media. And the fascinating part about this is that there was an image that was spread around by the IRGC showing their members, their military members, holding a pair of underwear that apparently belonged to the Americans, saying, well done, at least you captured the underwear. You did something. Well, why are you even bothering? Okay, let's go to what President Trump said, because he's been posting a lot of statements, including an extremely robust final warning to the Islamic Republic. They have until tomorrow, the 6th of April, to basically surrender and bow down to the president. But before that, he released this very long and beautiful statement about the operation that we just had, And let's just quickly go back to here. Just as a reminder, this was Dehtasht, and also this was where the second pilot were actually located. President Trump said, "We got him. My fellow Americans, over the past several hours, the United States military pulled off one of the most daring search and rescue operations in US history for one of our incredible crew member officers, who also happens to be a highly respected colonel, and who I am thrilled to let you know is now safe and sound. This brave warrior was behind enemy lines in the treacherous mountains of Iran, being hunted down by our enemies, who were getting closer and closer by the hour, but was never truly alone because his Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of War, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and fellow warfighters were monitoring his location 24 hours a day and diligently planning for his rescue. At my direction, the US military sent dozens of aircraft armed with the most lethal weapons in the world to retrieve him. He sustained injuries, but he will be just fine. This miraculous search and rescue operation comes in addition to a successful rescue of another brave pilot yesterday, which we did not confirm because we did not want to jeopardize our second rescue operation. This is the first time in military memory that 2 US pilots have been rescued separately deep in enemy territory. We will never leave an American warfighter behind. The fact that we were able to pull off both of these operations without a single American killed or even seriously wounded just proves once again that we have achieved overwhelming air dominance and superiority over the Iranian skies. This is a moment that all Americans, Republican, Democrat, and everyone else should be proud and united around. We truly have the best, most professional and lethal military in the history of the world. God bless America. God bless our troops. And happy Easter. Okay, so following this, we also had a video statement by the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who sent this to the president.
Congratulations, President Trump. All Israelis rejoice in the incredible rescue of a brave American pilot by America's dauntless warriors. This proves that when free societies muster their courage and their resolve, they can confront seemingly insurmountable odds and overcome the forces of darkness and terror. This rescue operation reinforces a sacred principle. No one is left behind. This is a shared value demonstrated time and time again in the history of both our countries. As a nation that repeatedly carried out daring rescue operations, and as someone who was wounded in such a mission and lost a brother in the Entebbe rescue, Israelis and I, we know what a bold decision you took. President Trump, Donald, my dear friend, once again, your decisive leadership brought another great victory to America. I salute you. We all do.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant work by everybody involved in this operation. Someone says that I am so happy. Absolutely. A lot of Iranians have been celebrating as well since this morning in Iran, rescued on Resurrection Day. God is good. Yes. Ivan says that the rescue will be a book and movie. Oh, yeah. I think I should play one of the Iranians who helped shelter the American. I'm willing to do it. Why not? Or I could play one of the IRGC guys. Just need to grow my beard and be slightly messy and dirty and smelly. That will work as well. Who doesn't want to be a villain? Okay, President Trump also sent out a massive warning. And if you think this wasn't bad enough, everything that's happened so far to the IRGC, which has been hilarious over the last month or so, President Trump has a deadline for them, which is tomorrow, Monday, the 6th of April. A few minutes ago, he posted this. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day. It's going to hit them all. all wrapped up in one, in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards. Or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Gets better. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. He actually said, praise be to Allah. He's trolling them, using their own Allah. This is crazy. Praise be to Allah. And, wow. He is by far the funniest president in the history of this planet, not just America. Let's also go back to Iran, because there were some issues over the last few hours. They are falling apart. The Islamic occupation forces in Iran. Firstly, we have had more ballistic missile launchers across the country who have now been hit. This one in Kermanshah. Look at that. Another one gone. But it gets even better, because it's not really just about these missile launchers. It's not even just about the missiles. By the way, we have an update about how many missiles have been launched today, especially towards the UAE. Not many anymore. It's all going down so quickly. And but it's not really just about this. It's about the actual personnel on the ground, on the streets in Iran. They're nowhere to be seen anymore. There are not many of them. They, as I said, they even struggled and failed to capture one single American. How hard was it to capture an American? They're not even good at doing that, because they don't have enough people. So we have this video sent by an Iranian civilian in Buchan, showing how the so-called security forces have now all abandoned their posts and checkpoints. They're saying the IRGC Basij have all escaped. The end is near. No, look, it's all empty. That's a checkpoint. That was supposed to be a checkpoint, by the way. So this bit, let me go back. That, all empty. Until days ago, they were stopping all cars, they were checking everything. All these are being abandoned left, right and center. More of them every single day, despite the fact that they brought in thousands of foreign Arab forces, and also from Afghanistan. We've got proxies from Afghanistan and from Iraq, all invading Iran, invited by the Islamic occupation. And but nobody's there to man these checkpoints. What are they doing? Are they just walking around pretending to be tourists? Because we have seen some videos from the Iraqis. They're literally just making videos, walking around the streets of Tehran saying, this is nice. Oh, that building has a door. We don't have that in our country. The buildings here have windows. Wow. Anyway, so there is a couple of things that we're to discuss, including the situation in Lebanon. Before we get to that, we have a message saying Happy Easter. But again, today it's 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time, 3:50. Well, that was 20 minutes ago, right? Yeah. BST. And it's still 7:49 AD in Tehran. The Immortal Guard will reset the clock soon. Brilliant. Hello, Mr. Tusi. On this wonderful day, God bless the brave rescuers of the American pilots. Spot on. Okay, so let's talk about Lebanon. Things are heating up. The president of Lebanon has now said that the Islamic Republic of Iran's ambassador is refusing to leave the country. So as you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, the Lebanese government, actually a few weeks ago, since the beginning of the war, the Lebanese government initially banned the IRGC. Finally, after 47 years, Lebanon said enough is enough. Get out. And then they also had to officially remove the ambassador and the diplomats of the Islamic Republic government. So he said, you need to get out. We don't recognize you anymore. We're not going to have meetings with you. But apparently, that guy is still staying around in Lebanon. He doesn't want to go back to Iran. I wonder why. He hasn't defected. He's still pretending to be an ambassador. He is literally self-identifying as ambassador. Nobody's talking to him. So the president said he's refusing to leave. He is not officially an ambassador anymore. He hasn't submitted his credentials and he holds no formal position at the embassy. The guy is refusing to go. This is it's a clown show, but I don't understand why the Lebanese government can't just pick him up, put him on a plane, send him back, or put him on a donkey. I don't care what you do, but it's crazy stuff happening now. But I think we can. I'm just going to get some more reaction, but I think we have more updates coming in from inside Iran. Before we double check that, I think the situation in we're going to also talk about Lebanon quickly in terms of what's happening on the ground in Lebanon, not necessarily just the government. But first things first, President Trump, the White House have now confirmed that President Donald J. Trump has been sending arms to the Iranian civilians since January, since the beginning of the uprising. He sent a huge amount of weapons via the Kurds into Iran, and what we don't know exactly is how many and how successfully every single thing went to the right person. I think obviously they have had contacts with the Immortal Guard through the Kurds and everybody else, and we know that they were also in touch with Mossad, so clearly there was some sort of network that was created between them and the Americans. That's officially been confirmed now by the White House. Having said that, the situation inside the country is looking even worse than what we've reported so far. So I just spoke to my dad, who's in Tehran, and he said that at this point we can basically say that the economy is fully collapsing. We're not saying, when people say economy, well, any economy crashing, that usually means a decline. That usually means some sort of temporary crash and it bounces back up. But this is a complete fall of the economic system in Iran. And if obviously the Americans decide to hit the power plants, for example, tomorrow, that's going to completely shut everything off. Right now, according to obviously my dad, but also speaking to our Immortal Guard sources, nobody has any money in terms of, for example, a lot of people can't pay their rent. They can't deal with any of their businesses because they don't have internet. Most people obviously need internet to operate. And a lot of their checks are getting bounced as expected. But there are no courts, there are no judges, there are no bailiffs. So the government has effectively told people in Iran, you got to look after yourself. Just take care of each other. So if you can't pay your rent, you're going to have to come up with a deal with your landlord, because the government can't go and arrest you for not paying your rent. Everything's completely chaotic. And now, over the last few hours, we just received the confirmation that we are now getting major disruptions hitting the banking system in Iran, including the IRGC's own bank, which is the biggest bank in Iran, well, one of the biggest banks, the Bank Sepah. Their network has now been hit, which is obviously a key network for the finances of the Islamic leadership and, of course, the rest of the regime figures. If they can't have that bank, they can't even pay, even if they have any money, they can't even pay their own militants. Okay, so the camera in Beirut is moving. Usually, that could mean that something's about to happen. I can hear something. Oh, we can hear, I think it's an air defense system or something. Or it's either an air defense system or somebody was just using a rifle. Or it's ended. I don't know how loud it is. I can hear just tiny bit in the background something flying. I don't know if it's a drone or could be cars. Could be cars for all we know. We're going to stay here for a second, but we can actually show you what happened here a few minutes ago, because we have the recorded video of this. The Israeli Air Force have been hammering the southern suburbs of Oh, not this. Let's go to Beirut. This is earlier. That's the one I didn't miss. Also, do you remember the rumors yesterday when they said President Trump died? That was the weirdest one of it. Oh, he's gone to the hospital. He's not even conscious. It's the problem with social media. It's all these anti-war trolls spreading rumors. A couple of weeks ago, Prime Minister of Israel died. And he came back on a Sunday. And President Trump died yesterday and he came back again on a Sunday. All these people keep coming back to life on Sundays. Both Trump and Netanyahu were risen on Sundays. Brilliant. Also, the Israelis have now confirmed that they have successfully eliminated a major figure in Iran. This is Mohammad Reza Ashrafi, who was the head of the IRGC's oil depot commercial department. He was actually in Tehran, and over the last couple of days, they have successfully carried out a targeted attack on him, and he is dead. Unfortunately, we don't have a photo of him, but it doesn't matter. He probably looked like an idiot. So another one bites the dust, and another one for Greg the Goat, who is our representative for on behalf of the 72 virgin goats. So Mohammad Reza is now going to get his 72 virgin goats. As I said, we're going to give you guys the latest number of missiles that have been launched and also drones towards the United Arab Emirates. The Defense Ministry in the UAE have said that the air defense system intercepted today 9. That's it. 9 ballistic missiles, 1 cruise missile, and 50 drones. Overall, 507 missiles since the beginning of the war, ballistic missiles, 24 cruise missiles, and 2,191 drones. Whoopsie. Seems like for some reason, I don't know, maybe they're taking a break. It's weekend. I mean, it's not weekend anymore in Iran. But they were taking a break because these numbers are slightly embarrassing now. 9. And 1 cruise missile. We'll see if they have anything to recover over the next few days. But I think they're going to be slightly busy now because tomorrow is the official deadline set by President Trump. If they don't fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz, things are going to kick off across the country. Joe says you should do a segment on the IRGC sneaking into the US from Canada. Happy Easter, everyone. Sure, we'll look into that. Carter says, happy Passover, Resurrection Day, Christ has risen. Shame on Europe for failing to stand with the US and Israel and the Iranians. Again, they will not forget, let's just say. Europe obviously is the reason primarily that the Islamic occupation got into power in Iran with the help of Jimmy Carter, obviously. But Europe has a lot to answer for, especially obviously the Western European countries, France and Britain. And over the last few decades, the whole of Europe, as in the European Union and their allies, they've also been slightly problematic. But, and now, absolutely nothing. Comment on Wiseman's latest orbit post says, Allah made heaven. Did he? Earth and everything in between. What? Why are you destroying Allah's earth then? This is getting beyond ignorance. Wait, is that real or was that some sort of AI? Oh, it was a post. I thought you said Wiseman himself said. Okay, that's interesting. I was like, when did he become a Muslim? Okay, something about the Wizzos. What's going on? 2C, Weapons Systems Officer. They are, yes, we know. I'm still going to say second pilot, like the president. If you don't like it, sue me. The UN never mentioned Hezbollah and IRGC by name when condemning the shelling of UNIFIL forces in Lebanon. UN compromise? Well, this might be breaking news, guys, because for decades and decades, clearly, surely, as we knew, the United Nations have been an absolutely beautiful institution, very competent, definitely not corrupt, and not compromised from the beginning. Nope. And maybe suddenly now they are they've been compromised since day one. It's not really a breaking news in that sense. They have always been the same. They are, at least they are consistent when it comes to how evil they are. So yeah, of course they're not going to mention any of that. Fox is saying same as CNN still, saying for reward. Yeah, the reward was real. Yeah, the IRGC, we reported this on this channel yesterday and 2 days ago. They issued a reward. They asked people in Iran to go and help capture the American. The problem with that was that, number one, that showed how weak they are, that they don't have enough military personnel to do the job. Secondly, there were a couple of people who were IRGC supporters who were using their rifles to shoot down the helicopters. What's happening here? Something? Did I just miss another one? Why are you zooming in like this for no reason? Yeah, firstly, there was, nobody helped apart from a few idiots, and they still didn't do anything. The rest of it was actually, the reward was real, but the Iranian civilians actually ended up helping the Americans. So that was what actually backfired. You guys keep an eye on this, because I'm going to check a couple of things. If you see a smoke, let me know. Although the problem is that the live chat is 20 seconds behind. By the time you guys see something, I'll probably miss it anyway. So much winning. Yep. And Brian says Immortal God is going to unsubscribe the IRGC. Don't misunderstand me. I am pulling for the people, but all the parties use bloodthirsty language. IRGC, Immortal God, even Pahlavi. It's war. In war, you fight. You don't shake hands and say, "Can I touch your nosy?" and kiss you. That doesn't work that way. I do that to our cat Sarafina and Oliver. Have 50 years of public hanging, terrible things ruined them. Need a Bill of Rights. No. Guess who else was using bloodthirsty language? Let me tell you who. The army led by George Washington, who were fighting for their freedom against the British Empire. Do you think they sent an email to the British Empire, to the king, saying, "Hello, dear king, can we please be free? We don't like taxes"? No. They fought. They defended themselves and they killed. What you're seeing, as opposed to anything else in history, is that the Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi, as the leader of the opposition and the rightful king of the land of Aryans, his supporters, the whole opposition, saying, "We are now at war, we have to fight." Once the regime collapses, those who have blood on their hands will have to face justice. Not public hangings randomly. No. Actual justice. You will stand trial like the National Socialists did in Germany, although some of them were hunted down because they couldn't be captured to go to trial. They were running away like idiots. They are going to respond in a civilized way, and the whole blueprint has already been published, and people in Iran are behind it. And they've also said bureaucrats who work for the government right now in Iran, they are still Iranian people. If they don't have blood on their hands, they can continue. They can still be part of the future Iran and the future government. We're not talking about Libya. We're not talking about Iraq or Afghanistan. There is a whole process in place by the Iranian people who, in their millions, have advocated for this, that the moment the war ends, if they do win it against the Islamic occupation, then obviously bloodshed is over. You now have to go through a legal process. You set up the judiciary, which has already been published, a detailed plan by the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and the whole opposition. And they're all united now behind it. All the different groups are united behind the plan. They're going to arrest them. Obviously, those who are going to run away, they're going to run away. Those who want to fight back are going to get slightly killed. Just a little bit. Just a little bit dead. The rest of them will be arrested and they will stand trial. That's not bloodthirsty language. That's civility, which Iran has always had, and the Iranian culture. During wartime, oh yeah, guess who else is using bloodthirsty language? The President of the United States, rightly so. He just threatened them again. You don't say nice things during war. You're going to have to defend yourself. Thank God for the great Iranian people for all their help. I wonder if they gave him any kebab. The American. There were a lot of jokes on social media that the US crew member was basically given a house and he was being fed Persian food. I don't trust Apple TV either. They have good movies there. Come on, good shows. I trust the Angel Studios to portray this epic mission correctly. I'm so proud to be an American. Absolutely. Love my president, Trump, and our awesome military. Okay, the camera's moving again. Come on, stop doing that. Unless something is about to happen. No, that's just a building. I thought that was a smoke. Stay. Good camera. There should be a rule. Only move it when there is going to be smoke. IRGC bots and leftists were gloating yesterday about the US being forced to negotiate for the captured airmen. Who is gloating now, losers? They're not laughing now, are they? They were so confident. They were all looking forward to capturing the guy. Also, we have a bunch of Americans, so-called Americans, who were rooting for the IRGC to capture the American. This is the level of insanity we have. They hate President Trump so much, they hate their country and their flag so much, that they were rooting for a bunch of barbaric Islamists. Can't make this stuff up. IRGC equals Islamic retards going. Saint Chuck 3132 says Tusi is a Jew. I think this is supposed to be an insult, but it's just a definition of those who are born a Jew, which is an ethno-religion. It's an ethnicity. You know, you're just a Jew. And I'm not, because ethnically I'm Persian, from Iran, Persian Iranian, and religiously I'm Team Jesus. I'm Christian. We literally just came from church. But I think he was using Jew as an insult, which makes no sense, because that's not really an insult, because there's nothing wrong with being a Jew. If you think that's an insult, keep using it, because that's going to backfire, and it's been backfiring since October the 7th, because initially it started with, oh yeah, we don't have a problem with Jews, you know, we're not that evil, we just have problems with the Israeli government policies. Yeah, they're bad people. And then you dig deep, they're like, yeah, we hate the Jews. It's like Kanye when he was saying, I can't say who, I can't say from which religion, which country. It was a Jewish doctor. That was one of my the peak Kanye insanity from a couple of years ago when he was losing his mind again. He was a Jewish doctor. It's the same with the rest of the anti-Semites. They're absolutely insane. They're like, yeah, we just like Palestine. Why? Yeah, the Israeli government, but why? Because we think secretly Israel is being controlled by the Jews. I've heard that before, that apparently Israel could be controlled by the Jews, but I don't have any evidence. One day we'll find out. Tell the president of Lebanon to arrest the Iranian ambassador. Yeah, that guy's too busy eating a lot of food instead of doing his job. American military ex-Mushtaba is dead. They say confirmed by Iran. Yeah, we don't have confirmation on that. He's probably somewhere with one leg playing PlayStation. Your scroll by Abba should say open the effing straight. Don't forget praise Allah. Scroll. You mean the rolling banner? Yeah. But we read the statement, but do you want me to add it? You want just for your sake? Let me add this. What was the actual quote? To open the effing. I don't know. Maybe it was this. There we go. Updated just for you. I had to improvise. The wording might not be 100% the way he said it, but he did praise Allah. So I love listening to President Trump these days. These days, every day. Trump should call a victory as a cardboard cutout. IRGC are like the man who took over Germany in 1933. Just less competent, really. That's the other thing. And with less shower routine. To see the UN is designated to protect sovereign and institutional rights over individual rights, regardless of the institutional's ideology. Oh, they're doing such a good job, guys. My Israel court in 1960. Yeah, it took a while. I don't care what you call him as long as he's safe. Yes. Make Iran and Cuba great again. Let's not forget about Cuba. That's next. Don't worry. My mom attended Ahmed's trial in Jerusalem. I saw him sitting in a glass box. Nice. And after Bamban's passing, has Sarafina accepted the 2CTV's chief political advisor. It was political editor. She's negotiating for another position. But she's extremely bitey, so I think she's going to be applying for the head of the IRGC at 2CTV. She looks cute, but she's not a lover. She's a fighter. He is risen, prayers for the Iranian people. And the Crown Prince. Lisa says, food for thought. The drive-by funerals contain cardboard gift wrap boxes. Why? All that is left are cell phones and cup of soup. And Toyota tailgates would do. That's a good point, actually. What do they put in those coffins? There's not much of them left. Ali Larijani, who was the babysitter of the former Supreme Leader, only had one hand left. No, as in, like, not the rest of the... There was just one hand left. That was it. Did they just put the hand in the coffin? Hang on, what is this now? Don't mess with me. Are they just, like, moving the camera for no reason? Just a troll. Yesterday, did the Iraq's pages go boom boom? No, they don't trust pages anymore in any of those Islamist countries, especially Iraq. My concern is that Trump will destroy Kharg Island at the end of the deadline. No, because he said he wants to take the oil. You can't take the oil if you destroy the oil. So he's going to have to go capture it and take the oil instead of destroying it. And also, he didn't say he's going to hit the oil site. He did say he's going to hit everything else. So desalination plants, electricity in terms of power plants and things like that. This will hurt the Iranian people, but also impede China. So primarily speaking, the oil that you have in the Kharg Islands is what is used to export to the rest of the world. That's where the IRGC gets its money from. That oil is not actually used primarily for the Iranian people. So if you capture the Kharg Island, even if you destroy the Kharg Island, it's not going to affect the oil inside Iran. Obviously, if you hit the oil sites inside Iran, then especially by the ports, then yes, that would disrupt the supply. Tusi has the best and latest update on the action in Iran. Grateful to be a member. Thank you so much. You had better get working on the menu for your pub. I was literally saying that to my dad. Because I made a promise when the uprising started. I said, when Iran is free, I'm going to be opening the first ever British pub in Tehran. And I think that's going to happen now. So luckily it's going to be cheap because the currency has collapsed. So my concern is that Trump... Oh, we saw that. Reading again. I can foresee a you with a Labrador pup. No, we don't do dogs here. Yeah, both Danielle and I are cat people, not dog people. My mum has a dog. He's a monster. He's huge. He thinks he's tiny. I appreciate dogs for like 5 minutes, as long as they're not mine, because it's too much work. If you want to have a dog, just have a baby instead. Have a real baby. Just too much work. Anyway, we are going to keep you guys posted over the next few hours. We are expecting more escalation across the region, especially in Iran. Thank you so much for watching. Give me feedback on our new live interactive map that our 2C TV team have created. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.